Well, many thanks for joining us on the breakfast on Plus TV Africa. I am Justin Akadonye.
And I am Mercy Boko. It's good to have you join us this morning.
And as always, we'll be beginning with top trending, which is basically, what is topical and what is making around across various social media platforms and various spaces. And we will start with one thing that we should actually start sometime next year. Mercy, over time, there has been so much talk about police officers in Nigeria not really getting, enough pay. We've seen and heard reports of where they even have to, pay and phone for their uniforms, bullets, and a whole lot of it. And most times, people have actually attributed the fact that they go the roads and ask for all sort of bribes, extortion, because they don't really get so much. When it comes to welfare, it is really nothing to write home.
I mean, before you have all of this increment being made, do we look at the current realities of the country? Because it's okay to say you're making 20% increase. What are they actually earning, depending on what grades and level, if that's the structure that's been used, right? So yes, it's actually welcome, very welcome, but very serious. And as usual, and with the entire workforce. Now let's not even. Some people call it a tongue. They shouldn't be using that. See, so there was also another time, where I was supposed to follow a report. They don't even, some of them don't even have where to stay. So they were properly staying where you have like canteen, maybe some kind of place. We're going to, not entirely, not everyone. Just looking at them, you will know that they're not properly funded. And I wish that we can understand the dynamics surrounding all of this, that if you take care of the hen that lays the golden hen, then you are going to expect, a high productivity. We're not going to say, as long as we're human beings, of course, we'll always return to default setting. But my point is, we probably might not have a perfect entire police system because there's none in the entire world. But we'll probably just be there somewhere where, everyone will be proud to be part of the police force. Just go to the street and ask a kid if they want to be a police officer in Nigeria. They will tell you no. So there are a lot of things. It's a welcome development, first of all. But like I would want to say, I really don't know how much that 20% would translate into. Do we also consider, because apart from that, if we take care of, healthcare, we also take care of, housing. We take care of all the little stuffs around. The salary entirely would not even be a problem. And also, should we always consider the reality? We're looking at, the cost of goods and services across. The inflation, it's something else entirely. So yes, as much as we applaud, we also hope that we can do better. The entire police force needs a total restructuring, needs a reform. We need to really pay attention to the welfare. We also need to look at the issue of corruption, where those who are highly placed would always, take advantage of the resources, the mean resources, because resources will never be enough. As a matter of fact, I've never had any country or any department or organization that would say they have enough. Nobody has.
No one ever has enough. Even in the Nigerian police, it is, like you have said, a step in the right direction, like you mentioned, but over time, we still need to look at other issues. I have to give kudos to some states like Lagos, for establishing their own security trust fund, which has over time, helped to, take care of some, lapses and some lacuna in the Nigeria police force. Over time, you find out that when you call for the police, in terms of emergencies, they either tell you they don't even have fuel, they'll tell you they don't even, their cars are bad. No, it's a whole lot. It's a bummer, really. It's a whole lot. But with the establishment of the State Security Trust Fund, where different donors, including the state government, fund that particular trust. Over time, we've seen issues of policing getting better. I can only speak for Lagos State, but would they even get better funded if the policing issue is actually left to the hands of the state government?
At the end of the day, if we get back to, despite the fact that there are several arguments surrounding state policing, the governors would actually be in control, and then they would use that to begin. As long as it's, the different wards and all of the, endowment and what have you. So it add up. There's a lot of work that we need to do. It
is much. Well, let's move away from the Nigerian police. But congratulations to them in advance, as it were. Staying in Lagos here, some cheering news. We've been hearing about that now for some time, since last week, actually. Lagos arrested Mercy, where do you stay? How much do you pay as rent? I don't know if you pay through your nose because I know you are a big island babe. So
I live in VGC. You don't want to know how much
that is where I'm headed. That is where I'm actually headed.
You don't want to know how much the rent.
So it will be some sort of a relief if you get to be paying your rent.
No, it would not be a relief.
No,
it would not be a relief.
It wouldn't.
I totally understand what the Lagos state government is trying to achieve, and the governor himself. We applaud it. But you see,
unless you drive pay yearly.
No, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. Let's put all the cards on the table.
Okay.
Now, it's a good thing. It's okay to say, because this idea is not that we are originally the owners of this idea. I mean, it's something that's practiced in developed countries.
That's how it's done. Okay, if you pay 1 year, the landlord actually owes you.
Yes, but the point is, we do not live in a climate where now a lot of persons are not a source of income. As much as you see what the country is going through, a lot of persons still have a challenge of depending on one source of livelihood. So a lot of people are dependent on salary. A lot of people, not just a few persons that would have extras, right?
Yes.
So you will still talk about the issue that. Let me paint a picture in your mind.
So
that law becomes a law now, and it becomes agreeable, and we say, okay, yeah, and then you are the landlord, and then it comes to a point where I'm supposed to pay my next month's salary, and then my next month rent, and salaries are not paid. A lot of people will be on the streets. Yes, now, because the landlord will not have patience. 7 days after I leave my house, okay, I don't have time for you.
well, according to Lagos State, nobody's going to sell you out of your house.
No, they will.
There is actually plans are in the offing. It's going to be on a structured platform. But the state government says it's going to start from the formal sector because they still have some issue trying to get the informal sector into all of that. Because what they are saying...
when you say the formal sector,
for those who have structured salaries...
like where? The federal government? Because the state government? No, you can't control that. I mean, this is the reality.
What's the reality?
Salaries don't come very early for a lot of people. That's a big issue. So if you have to now pay monthly salary and then you have to pay monthly rent, it's a brilliant idea, Mr. Governor.
Says that it will actually give you a bit of an allowance, so you could see to other bills, because most people complain of school fees and other stuff they get to pay on a monthly basis. So although it is the right thing to do, even if you have to pay your rent yearly, the right thing to do.
You're working with a budget. I mean, you take a little, so you're going to take out a percentage for transportation, take out this for housing,
for rent as
take
well.
out this.
Yes,
so
that's a normal thing to do.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you probably would say, okay, you're expecting salaries to drop at a particular time, and then don't drop. Then you get to that month, and then the landlord is waiting for you. See, a lot of people would be on the street, because the landlords, first of all, will not even have the joy on their faces.
Of wanting to get monthly rent.
Or leave my house. It's already time.
I'm sure the Lagos state government would actually perfect all of this. These are concerns.
No, but these are some of the concerns. We need to also, factor. As much as it sounds like a brilliant idea, but we also need to understand.
I'd rather pay my rent monthly. So I can do that. So I can do that crypto business that one of my colleagues has been telling me about.
Wait, away now.
Away from that one, chess. An 18-year-old boy just won a chess competition, and Mercy, it is really a story of it's not about where you're staying. It's chess is a thing of and he lives somewhere around Oshodi, Isale. Don't ask what Isale is.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
so, but it's a brilliant one. As the truth is, I think we were having a conversation on this platform, and someone mentioned the fact that there are too many talents. We have too many talents in Nigeria. Nigerians are talented people. Nigerians are very special. But you see, you just need someone to discover you. And yes, as much as we want to say it doesn't necessarily matter, I'm just saying that there are a lot of talent out there.
True.
And it's a very brilliant one.
He wants to be a singer. Yeah.
And the fact that, you could also have that kind of competition in, this kind of environment is really, really very brilliant and very amazing. I think I saw a movie, some kind of movie. So it's already, to me, it feels like it's a deja vu. It feels like I've already seen this happen before, because I saw a film where this young lad He wasn't really in a very good, he didn't grow up in a very good environment and all of that, but he was totally and, you know, very brilliant and fantastic. And then he kept on winning all of the chess competition, and he was earning monies, and then he was making his family proud. He took his family away from, you know, from poverty. I'm proud of him, and I'm sure a lot of Nigerians. But, you know, see, that's why I think that, you know, we need to, the time that you went to school and the time that I went to school, that's quite different now. Priorities are really different. Some people just feel like, oh, just go there and find and sort your way out. Some persons, I mean, these are fantastic things. And I don't know if we do have, you know, a competition in Nigeria. Do we have any sports where we project Nigeria? Yes. You know, at the national level, I can't say because I don't know.
I'm sure we have chess competitions, all right, but congratulations to Adeoye for us.
Congratulations to him. But I'm thinking that, you know, this is also an avenue where we can go around and begin to scout for all of this talent and put them together, and then begin to compete, you know, at the global world.
You know what they say about some bad things coming from the slum, but in this particular situation or scenario.
Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa This Week, the Voice of Maritime. Nimasa This Week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. Statutorily mandated to ensure that there is regulation and promotion of matters affecting our waters. NIMASA bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
NIMASA This Week, the Voice of Maritime, showing on this channel.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
If it's all in trending in the entertainment industry, then we'll definitely be talking about it.
We bring you the funny, controversial, and hottest topics making waves in the entertainment scene worldwide.
We also interview all your favorite celebrities and keep you locked down with fun segments and live performances. Tea Time, showing every weekday at 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and of course the repeat at 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m.
Welcome back to The Breakfast. It's time for Off the Press. We take you through the pages of our national dailies. And as usual on Thursdays, we have Ezekiel Yaituk. Good morning, Ezekiel Yaituk, and thank you for joining us.
Morning, it's my pleasure to be with you as always.
Our pleasure as well.
Okay, so let's start off with the Daily Trust, I beg your pardon, Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Let's find out what's making it, what big stories we have on the Daily Independent. Now, on the Daily Independent newspaper, the banner caption reads, Federal Government new Federal Civil Service Framework. It's underneath the bold caption for that particular one. APC has taken Niger 20 years backward, says Rivers State Governor. Yes, some Wike. That's what you have. Justice Orderly's house invasion. Federal government arraigns 15 suspects. Bandits kill Kaduna lawmaker. Very sad. Inflation rate drops to 15.40% in November. Senate approves Buhari's fresh $5.8 billion loan request. And that's also another interesting caption. But for Buhari, terrorists would have declared Islamic State. Minister is quoted. Says President leaving enduring legacy of security and social cohesion. That's also underneath, not entirely below the paper this morning. And you also have, we are aware bandits tax villagers. Niger government or state government is quoted to say that. And NIMET warns of impending poor visibility. This is some of the headlines on the Daily Independent newspaper this morning.
Away from the Daily Independent, our next port of call is the Leadership newspaper. The banner headline for this morning, bandits collect levies in Niger State. Government confirms with some writers there. Says farmers pay terrorists to harvest. Bandits kill Kaduna Assembly member. Insurgency, terrorism won't disappear overnight. That's attributed to the federal government. Insists government is working hard to tackle insecurity. Above that one, just below the masthead, 2021, how CBN disbursed 2 trillion naira to 6 zones. That's just below the masthead of the Leadership newspaper. All right, on the left strip there, federal government toll Lagos, Ibadan, Kano, Abuja roads. Lassa fever kills 2 medical consultants in Nasarawa. Jacob Zuma back to jail for corruption charges. Only 6,000 out. Those are all of the stories you can find on the Leadership newspaper this Thursday morning.
All right, let's move away from the Leadership newspaper and check out the Punch now. The bold caption, hashtag North is bleeding protest. Federal government under attack as DSS, please disperse, arrest demonstrators. That's a bold caption you find. Underneath that bold caption, you also have several riders. The first says, protest organizers arrested in Sokoto, Kaduna, Kano. Amnesty International is quoted. And UN says 2.9 million people displaced in North. States petition signed by 28,000. No president has funded security agencies like Buhari, says in GOBS 2.49 trillion naira in 9 months, according to the Department of Debt Management. National Assembly members fear and fall DSS over Yuletide kidnap warning. Okay. You also have another caption here. ASU meets Saturday and decides on planned strike over unfulfilled agreement. And let's see if we can take one or two just before we move away from the Punch newspaper this morning. Heavy security is from Kaduna Highway. And woman jailed 7 years for stealing and selling baby for 300,000. Accomplice remanded. Now, this is some of the headlines on the Punch newspaper.
And finally, we'll move on next to The Nation. The main headline for this morning, presidency knocks Obasanjo, others over attacks on Buhari. Critics overheating polity, says Minister. 1 trillion naira CBN, AFC, NSIA fund for Lagos Ibadan Road and others. Above the masthead of the Nation newspaper, 15 suspects arraigned over siege to Odele's home. $98 million. Those are the stories you can find on the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, let's have Ezekiel Yai to join the conversation. Abuja, Kano roads, and second Niger bridge.
As soon as possible, and Nigerians need to wake up so that they can be properly informed on management of expectation. A reasonable father will tell the family exactly what he's, the father to be trustworthy, the father to make full disclosure, and the children are not unreasonable, they'll know what to do. Nigeria is taking on what they honestly, sincerely can't afford. And they are giving Nigerians the impression that we don't have a problem. As a result, our expectations are this high. And they cannot manage the expectation. As a result, we're just in a state of confusion. There's this paradigm that makes it difficult for us to understand if we are rich or if we are a poor nation. On one hand, we say you don't have money to pay minimum wage and things like that. On the other hand, the flamboyance of the civil servant, we look at the management of the tolling and we cannot without a fuel. We tell them we really can't afford this one trillion or this humongous amount that they are calling every month. So please, can we start to, you see, Nigerians need to come to a point when they are leaving their house, they switch off all the lights. Many of us have lived abroad, and we know that there are certain luxuries that we and inform the people properly. I think that's my take on the tolling. It's a necessary evil. We need it. We need it. All we need is a government that will not collect money from the people, pocket the money, and we're back to status quo. We need a government that we can trust. So maybe they should just cool down. We can manage the way we are managing until the last 2 years, because if not so, they will now concession these roads to the cronies, collect money for election. These people will not have the capacity to perform, which is what happened to us with the privatization of electricity. And at the end of the day, we'll be back to status quo. We would have lost our money and gained nothing.
Lead story, they captioned it this way: amid security concerns, bandits collect levies in Niger state and government is confirming. What's your position, Mr. Nyaeto?
You see, when you have a government that believes more in politics than in governance, that's what you have. You have a problem in Southeast. The solution to the problem in Southeast can come. There's one of the papers that say that the solution will not come overnight. What a lie from the pit of hell. I am telling you on good authority and on my honor that the problem in Southeast can be solved within 1 month. Within 1 month, and I say this with every sense of responsibility. It's very easy to do. But do they have the political will so that the soldiers shut down? All we hear, there are moles in the military, we've been infiltrated. That just sounds so pedestrian. They sound so illogical. They sound so uninteresting. You're telling me that the Nigerian army does not have the intelligence. There will always be, espionage. There will always be moles. There will always be, but not to the extent where you nationally accept that we have a problem. It's like we're helpless. Who's going to help us? And the day that we want banditry to stop in Nigeria within a certain limit, it will not take a long time. I believe that clearly, because all we need is somebody who comes in, and these guys know that their time is up. Once they know that their time is up, they will leave. They will leave. It happens. You go to a certain state where it's like the bandits, not bandits, the robbers have taken hold of that state. And all it takes is one commissioner of police that is brought to that state. And all of a sudden, guys say, oh boy, this is going to hurt us. This man will take nonsense. We better relocate. They relocate. So all we need is a security chief with the principal, who is the head of state, or who is Mr. President, the commander-in-chief, calling them and giving them a marching order and saying a private meeting that Mr. President has with the service chiefs. And he gives them a mandate and said, guys, look, 6 months or you give me your resignation letter and let me see if this will not work. What do you need? Realistically, I've been in a